Hey guys, Potato McWhiskey here, and today we're going to be playing a little bit of Galactic Junk League. Now, first of all, I'm going to actually play a game in this ship, and then I'm going to show you how to build it. This specific ship is designed entirely for a new player, brand new player who just loaded up the game and doesn't know what to build and wants to build something that's like reasonably good and will help them win a game or two. So it looks like we've already managed to load into the match, and I'm going to guys show you how you should play this ship, and later on in the video after this match I'm going to show you how to build it from scratch with just the basic parts you get when you start the game up. Alright, here we go. The game has started up and we are ready to fight. Now, some important things to note about this ship is that all of its guns fire in the forward facing direction. To the side you only get 2, to the side you only get 2. Up you can get 4 again, and down you can get 4 again. You have to be very careful. You want to be pointing your ship at your opponent. You want to be pointing the front of your ship at them. Now, one of the most important things in the early game is not to just rush the enemy. Find a position to hide in, because a lot of people are going to have long range guns and you don't want to get sniped out of the air. So find a position, hold there, and wait for the opponents to come to you. A lot of people are very overzealous in their pushing. You have to be very, very careful, because especially when you're using laser weapons, which you will almost definitely be using in your first few games, you're going to want to play it very safe, because other people will have missiles, longer range Gatling guns. And you see that guy, he charged them and he basically instantly died. And now we get a free kill on this guy, and similarly this guy. And make sure you always try and shoot the same cube over and over, because that's how you break through. I lasered through his armor and I got to his core and I blew him up. We'll just keep doing this, making sure you're kind of skirting the edge of fights. You don't want to be swarmed by the enemy. And here's a ship who's basically like me. Try to rotate your armor around so that he doesn't get a good shot on you. So that you're like, I'm rotating my ship so that I'm spreading the damage I'm taking all over my ship, so he can't just get a good shot on my core. And notice how even though I took a lot of damage, I didn't die, whereas I managed to kill him because he wasn't rotating. And you got to watch out if people start shooting at you with Gatling guns. Get to cover. Oh, got to keep rotating. Yep. You just took too much damage, but I feel like I did pretty okay there. You know, we got a kill. Don't forget you also have a speed boost to get out of combat or into combat really quickly. I probably could have survived that if I had remembered that to use it. And don't be afraid to if you've got a numbers advantage, don't be afraid to charge a little bit. It's not terrible, especially if you rotate and make sure nobody's getting free damage on all of your bits. It's very important to make sure that they don't get to shoot one side of you for a long period of time. Now I need to start like retreating here, but I need to keep rotating to spread that damage out. Looks like he's not firing, so his guns have probably overheated. But he has managed to defeat my guns, so I'm going to just keep rotating so that he has to spend more time to kill me, so my allies have time to shoot him. So just keep rotating. Unfortunately, my allies didn't really back me up there, but it's very important that if you're in the middle of combat, you try to stay alive as long as possible. Now, this ship isn't very good, I'll readily admit that, but it's a reasonably good ship. It's better than the basic ship you're going to spawn with in the game, and it's going to help you maybe do a little bit better than normal. Honestly, for the first few games, you're probably not going to do very well, because the tools you have available to you to make ships are not very good. If you see the green crystal thing, that's what you're aiming for. That's what you want to try and be hitting, because that's how you get a kill. And there you go, I got him. Nice. We took a little bit of damage, but we're still in pretty good shape. Keep moving along here. This guy is kind of out here on his own, so I feel pretty safe to push him. And just aim for center mass, looking for that crystal. Hitting that crystal. Boom, got him. He wasn't ready for me. And now there's a guy above me. I want to always turn my ship to get all 4 guns shooting at him, if possible. He teleported somewhere. He teleported over there. If people are shooting at you, you want to be moving erratically. If you're shooting at someone, you want to be pointing at them. And if both are happening at the same time, which is often the case, you kind of want to do a mixture of the two. And now I'm in a bad place, so I'm going to use my speed boost to get out of here. You see the smoke coming out of my engines? That means I'm using my speed boost. You're probably not going to understand a lot of what's going on here, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll all be explained. I'm just helping you get a feel of how this ship performs until we build it and explain more in depth. Things are going pretty okay for me. It looks like this guy's stuck on a rock, so it's okay to charge him and start lasering in. You want to try and hit the same spot over and over. in order to cut through his armor and get to his core. That's what lasers are good at doing. And it looks like we lost the game, but it's okay because we did the best in the team. I got 3 kills, 2 deaths, and 3 assists. And I'm in a ship that any new player who first loads up the game could build no problem. I specifically didn't use my maximum CPU. I used only 600 CPU. I think I actually used 588 CPU to build this ship. Okay, so you've seen the ship in action. Now let's build it. We're going to start with just the rookie core, and I'm going to show you exactly how to build this from scratch. So starting with the rookie core, the first thing you're going to want to do is press M so that you have a mirrored mode. And this will allow you to place blocks on both sides of the ship at the same time. The next thing you're going to want to do is lay out a set of blocks in this sort of fat plus formation with coverage on each side of the core. This is a pretty basic defensive layout that you're going to use in a lot of ship designs, just to make sure they don't get a free shot at your core at the game start. Next, you're going to press Tab to go into the whole menu, and you're going to press 2 to select the second slot. You're going to put the whole prism in there. You're also going to press Tab once again, and you're going to press 3, and you're going to put the gyroscope in your third slot, because there's a little bit of things we have to do here. Now, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a gyroscope here and a gyroscope here. And now keep in mind that that's mirrored on both sides. Generally speaking, 4 gyroscopes and 4 engines are a pretty good number with regards to keeping your ship versatile and strong. And that should actually more or less be the basic layout of the ship. You're going to want it to be about 6 long and 4 tall. And this is what the profile should sort of look like, with the core in the very center with 2 gyroscopes. So next we're going to want to put our phasers. So we have already used the gyroscopes. So in slot 3, which is where we had our gyroscopes, we're going to put the phasers. And we're going to put 1 phaser here and 1 phaser here. And we'll talk a little bit about why those are positioned there later. But for now, this is just know that these are relatively good positions. Generally speaking, you want to have your guns sort of spread out a bit so that they can't all die from a single attack. Next, we're going to put on our ability. The ability you're going to be putting on is the engine overload. And you're going to place it on the back here, just like that. The very next thing we're going to be putting on is 4 engines. 4 engines and 4 gyroscopes, as I said, is considered a pretty standard build. It doesn't keep you extremely mobile, but it's a good balance of mobility and other blocks on your ship. Next, we're going to be going to our hull prisms, and we're going to place hull prisms all along the ship like this. This adds a little bit of health and defense to the ship and helps increase the connectivity so that damage is spread more efficiently throughout the ship. Oh, I forgot to mirror the guns. Whoops. Well, that's okay. I'll just I'll finish those out real quick. Put a gun here and a gun here. And this is the general layout you're going to want. Now, the final little bit of tweaking we're going to do is we're going to put a strong front on this. A strong front isn't 100% necessary, but what it does mean is that you will take a little bit more damage to your front before you get completely crushed. And once you have this, you're pretty much done. And the only thing left to do is a little bit of cleanup. So we can shave off these 2 guys, or these 3 guys on both sides, and place them in a layout like this, with the tetras on the whole pyramids on the corners like this. This should more or less cover the basic design of the ship. And we're going to talk a little bit about the design elements. So the very first thing I want to talk about is these 2 gyroscopes on either side. Generally speaking, you're going to want anywhere from you can make do with 2 gyroscopes on almost any ship, but I like 4 because 4 is a good number because you can spread 4 out around your ship. And remember, if you lose your gyroscopes, you won't be able to turn your ship, which is really bad. So I like to have 4 because that means I can take a hit here, here, and here, and I'll still have a gyroscope to be able to turn with. This is especially important when you're in a basic rookie ship with no armor blocks. You are basically made of paper at this point in the game, so almost entirely your success is dictated by your ability to control your ship, maneuver, and shoot. Although that's more or less true for the entire game. Now, on to about weapon positionings. The lasers are positioned like this for a reason. I could have decided to put the lasers on the front like this, and that isn't even a bad idea. That's actually like reasonable. The problem is, if I take a hit to this point from another ship, I'm going to lose both my weapons on this side. So what I like to do is, especially when I don't have armor, I'll spread my weapons out so that even if I take a hit here or here, I still have one weapon and I can fight on this side. Because something that's important to know about weapons is, when you're looking at a ship, the easiest way to tell if a weapon can fire at you is if you have line of sight to the weapon. So right here in front of the weapon, in front of the ship, I can see all 4 weapons. I can see that weapon over there, that weapon, and that weapon, and that weapon. But if I move a little bit over here, I can now only have line of sight to 3 weapons. So that means only 3 weapons can shoot at me. And if I move even more over here, say to about there-ish, even though technically this block isn't in the way, from a sort of sloped angling standpoint, it is in the way with the way the game deals with it. So from here, only 2 weapons can shoot at me. And the same is true from above and below. So from this angle, 4 weapons can shoot at me. From this angle, only 2 weapons can shoot at me. From this angle, 4 weapons can shoot from me. From this angle, only 2 weapons can shoot from me. So that's a pretty good idea of how you can get a sense of how your weapons shoot. Now this is only true for weapons like the phaser. If I were to put rocket launchers on this ship, you can see how it slightly changes things. Because unlike phasers, they don't rotate, they just shoot forward always. So the positioning of the weapons, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that more weapons. And in the case like this, where you're actually going to use rockets on this ship, or rocket launchers, you're going to want to actually put the rockets on top of your core, because rockets have pretty reasonable amounts of health, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they have 160 health, and so you can use the rockets like armor for your core. Which is, it's not amazing, but it works. So this is pretty much using only the most basic, simple blocks that you'll have when you first start the game, producing a pretty reasonably strong ship. And you've already seen it in action. And we're going to play it again, except this time we're going to play it with missiles so that you can see that in action. And how you play with missiles is slightly different. Oh. Okay, so we put 2 missiles on here like we did before, and 2 missiles on here. And keep in mind, we're still below that critical 600 CPU points. Which means a basic new player could easily load up the game and build this ship from scratch. We're going to get into another game with this using the missiles. Something you're going to want to keep aware of whenever you're loading into a game is to look at these weapon symbols here. You're going to see these artillery symbols a lot, and that means these are very long range ships, and you're going to want to keep an eye out for these different symbols, because this means you're going to have to play extremely careful. These guys, when you're a new player, they will almost 100% be able to shoot you once and kill you instantly. After your first few games, you're going to get armor blocks and they won't be able to kill you instantly, but just be very careful. This ship is specifically designed with this sort of stuff in mind so that you'll be able to survive your first few games with these super long range artillery ships and maybe get some money out of them and maybe a kill or 2. Okay, here we go. We're into our second match. Now the important difference with this ship from the laser version is that I don't have to point my ship at them to do damage. I can actually shoot in any angle and my missiles will make it. That reason alone, in my opinion, is a reason why I think missiles are viable on low tier ships. Just because you don't need to point your ship at them and you can get all 4 guns firing. You can also use them as sort of a pseudo armor on your core, which is pretty helpful in the first few games you're going to play before you unlock armor and Gatling guns. Something that's also really important to always do is never just rush in and get yourself killed. Always use cover, stick near your allies, because more people shooting means more kills, and you want to always have more people shooting at their guys than their guys are shooting at your guys. We'll play it safe. Always look out for the circles, the shields, and the stuff like that, because those are the guys who are going to do a lot of damage to you from long range. Try and look out for these kind of weird pin-like symbols. Those are the ones that you're going to want to fly over towards and see if you can do damage to. So for example, this guy is pretty vulnerable to me, so I'm going to start hitting him. And he wasn't ready for me, so I get the first few hits on him, which should mean I should win this fight, as long as I'm not unlucky and he gets some pretty bad hits on me. And there it is. I should win in a second. Oh, my weapon's overloaded. I thought I would kill him before then, but just a few more hits. And there we go. All I did to get that kill was carefully position myself and recognize an opportunity to flank someone who wasn't paying attention. I also kept myself out of range of their heavy-hitting artillery ships, and that's important to do too, until you have the tools that you can use to fight back against those big ships. When you're a new player, it's very important to play carefully and play safe. This guy's playing quite dangerously, but he's also not playing too dangerously because he has a bit of backup here and there. This guy needs some help, so I'm going to use my booster to get over there and see if I can help him out. I'm going to shoot this guy because if we're both shoot at him, we're doing more damage per second than he can do to us, and we should kill him. Excellent, we got a kill. Now I have to worry because this guy is coming at me, so I'm going to close in on him to try and go down because there's a guy shooting at me from the right. So I'm trying to get down below this rock so that he can't shoot at me anymore while also fighting that guy. Just trying to keep careful attention to what's happening around me. This guy's pushing too far forward in my opinion. He's probably going to die pretty quick. You want to look for people who are sort of out of position in relative to their teammates. So that guy just died there because he came too far forward. This guy is also probably going to die because he came too far forward. He managed to get out because he has a blink. Ouch. I lost a couple of my engines there, which is pretty bad, but it's not the worst in the world. That's why we take 4 engines, so we can lose a couple of engines but still be pretty fast. Ouch, I just got sniped by someone, which is pretty painful. And it was that guy over there. Yeah, you're going to want to watch out for those guys. I made a dumb mistake and I got too close to him. And he managed to hit me a couple times and completely expose my core. I still have all 4 of my weapons though, so I should be able to fight. It's not the most exciting thing to sit back and keep your distance from their sniper ships, but it kind of works. If you want to win games, it's just important not to die. I'm shooting at this guy while also reversing because I don't want to get too close to them. Nice, we got 4 kills so far. I'm on my own over here, so I'm going to start reversing. I'm going to rotate my armor around so that they don't get clean hits on my core. Looks like they got all my gyroscopes, so I'm dead. But even so, I'm a rookie player in a ship that any newbie could play, and just by using careful positioning, intelligent design for my ship, I'm able to do pretty well for what is essentially a new player's straight out of the gate, the first build they ever make. And that's the thing, this ship can only get better when we get more CPU, when we level up, when we get armor, when we get Gatling guns. Making our way back over to the fight, looks like one of our friends is down there getting his ass kicked. That's pretty normal. You're going to see a lot of people dying very quickly. It's just very important that you don't make the same mistakes they are, and play it relatively safe and keep yourself alive as much as possible. Don't be afraid to dip into combat every now and again. Get a little bit of last hit damage at the end of the game. Make sure you try to fly in an erratic fashion when there's long-range ships shooting at you. But here we are. We were in an absolutely beginner ship and we managed to come 4th in the score. We got 4 kills. We only died once. We didn't get any assists, but that's not a big deal. We should get a pretty reasonable payout too, because a lot of the people in the game used the junk boosters. And that's it for the absolute basic ship. The design is pretty damn solid. It's not going to win you every game you play, but it is going to give you the ability to do pretty well if you play smart. That pretty much covers my very basic new player ship building tutorial. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments if there's anything particular you want to see. If you want to see maybe a new player destroyer or something. I have a couple of ideas that I'm going to continue these ships on. But for now, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. If you want to directly support the channel, please like the video. It really does help the channel out. And that's more or less it. Bye bye.